So here's your Airline Montgomery Ward Airline radio. I put some rust remover on a chassis to try to mitigate all the rust that was there. I didn't want that interfering with the radio operation, so I took care of that. Rewired the speaker here. When you receive the radio, I'll be packing it all in one box, but I might have separate boxes for the radio and speaker and another box for the power supply. So what I have is a plug that plugs the power supply into the radio. The speaker is still hardwired to the radio, but the length of the wire is much longer. So when you receive the radio, install the speaker first into the radio, then you can install the radio chassis, get that all screwed down, place the knobs on the shafts, and then this is the power supply. So you have the filament batteries here, the D-cell batteries, and then the 9-volt batteries is the high voltage for the radio circuits, adding up to 90 volts. This is a switch to switch from battery to AC power. The middle position of the switch is off. This is going to turn power on to the radio. So when you toggle between battery and AC power, you won't notice much difference in what supply you're on, but make sure it's in the middle position for the off. I had to disable the on-off switch that was on the volume control because it was broken, so I removed that. So now when you turn that switch, you're not going to hear any clicking of the radio turning on and off. The power supply chassis does have all of these exposed terminals, so hopefully you don't have a cat or a dog that might be sniffing around the radio. When power is off, none of this is energized. Of course, there's power to the batteries, but the terminals are hard to touch and get any kind of shock from. But if you're in the AC operation with the switch here and AC operation, there are some higher voltages on these terminals here. So you don't want to be touching any of these terminals when the radio is plugged in and running off of the 120 volt supply. Also including some wood screws. I got some holes here in the wood board so you can mount the power supply to the back of the chassis. I guess I should have mentioned that. So after the radio chassis is installed, then you can install this board. This will be the back of the board where the power cord comes out. You'll have good access to the batteries. The switch here is just a regular electrical box. It's got tabs on here so you can screw it into the top of the chassis or top of the cabinet towards the back. So when you're looking at the back of the radio, the board will be screwed in and the switch will be 9 inches or so. You can put it in the middle of the upper edge of the cabinet and then mount it into place, or screw it into place with the screws. I got all the screws in this envelope. I've also included a iPod cable. If you're operating the radio and you want to plug your phone into it, this is a 3.5 millimeter stereo plug, male plug. You need to get a 3.5 millimeter female plug to plug into this, an adapter cable so you can plug your phone in. So if you have an iPhone, you'll need an adapter cable that has the iPhone end on it, or Android, or whatever phone you have. Another thing is when you plug your phone or other audio device into this, you'll need to turn the volume up all the way because the volume output from a phone or other audio device is very, very low. So, and then also there's no switch to switch in the audio. I have that directly connected to the audio circuit in the radio. So to keep the radio um, noise, the static from the radio or a station from interfering when you're on the audio cable, turn the dial all the way over to 550. That'll short out the tuner. I made it so it shorts out the tuner in that position so that the radio section will be dead and the audio will be nice and clear. So that's it. And then when you're off that position of the dial, the radio will work. And I have other videos for the iPod operation and the radio operation. So that's about it about your radio and how it gets put back together. Um, I'll be shipping it off soon. I'll let you know the final bill total. I need to do a little bit more work on the power supply. I've got a lot of temporary resistors in here to get the voltages right, so I had to order specific values of resistors to put into the electrical or the AC power supply portion for your radio.